tell me why they're flirting with each other while talking about ferrets mating? Not a fan. Not a fan of that. That can stay in the drafts. But then she does the craziest things, and I'm like, girl, no wonder your life ended up this way. Like, sorry. I am all for supporting women's wrongs, but I draw the line at this. I'm sorry, I can't. I don't love the third act breakup trope, but I at least respect it. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are letting a random number generator choose how long I read for a week. So this video was actually inspired by Destiny Sidwell. I'm pretty sure she is the one that came up with this reading challenge. So I'm gonna have her video linked in the description. However, this has kind of become a trend and I've seen other booktubers do this challenge as well, so I thought it would be kind of fun. So I have a random number generator pulled up on my computer. Since I am starting this challenge a little bit later in the afternoon, it's about 3, and I do have some schoolwork I need to work on. The highest amount of time that I could potentially read for today is 5 hours. So let's go ahead and hit spin. Okay, this is great. We got 1 hour. This is very much doable, okay? So for the first day of this challenge, I'm gonna be reading for an hour. When it comes to what I'm gonna be reading for that hour, I actually have a lot of options. So on my Kindle, I'm currently reading The Long Game by Elena Armez. This is like a small town soccer romance. It's about this girl and her dad owns a soccer team. However, a big scandal happens and she is forced to leave her position working for that team. And she's basically sent on this assignment to go and help coach this little league girls team in the middle of nowhere, and I'm really enjoying it so far. It's my first ever soccer romance, which is crazy to say because my boyfriend is a soccer player, so you think I would read a lot of soccer romances because I literally date a soccer player, but I digress. So the second book I'm reading is Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillick. This is the sequel for One Dark Window. This is a dark gothic fantasy and it has a very unique premise with monsters and myths. So that is also a contender. And then I'm actually listening to 2 different audiobooks. The first one is The Casanova by T.L. Swan. This is the 3rd book in the Mile High series by her. It's just like a fun billionaire romance. It's about these brothers and they all own like a media company and each book is about a different brother, and I've kind of been making my way through the series. I'm also listening to a thriller called None of This Is True. I recently got Spotify Premium, and when you have Spotify Premium you get free audiobooks, so I'm taking full advantage of that and I'm listening to None of This Is True. I honestly don't think I could give a really good synopsis of this book, but I'm really enjoying it so far. So it is update time. As you can see by my appearance, I've done my night routine. I am ready to get cozy and comfy in bed. I have about 30 minutes left in my reading time today. I listened to an audiobook of None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell for the first half of my reading time today. It's a thriller and it's about these 2 women that are birthday twins and it's kind of centered around like a podcast essentially. I am just now getting into thrillers in 2024. That's kind of one of my reading goals for this year. So I really like it so far. I just don't really want to listen to a potential murder before going to bed. That just gives me the heebie-jeebies. So instead, I'm going to read Two Twisted Crowns. I am about 25% through. I honestly haven't picked up this book a lot just because I've been a little bit busy with school, but I'm hoping that I can read a few pages within my 30-minute time frame. So yeah, so it is the next day. Last night I ended up completing my required reading time. I read about 25 pages of Two Twisted Crowns within that remaining 30 minutes. I'm about 30% through the book now, so making really good headway. So I currently have my laptop with me, so I thought we would go ahead and spin for the required hours today. So it is currently like 4 o'clock, so I made the maximum hours 5 just because I think that's a good happy medium. I don't know. Okay, We ended up getting 3 hours, which I think is great. Yesterday, we only read for about 1 hour, and I felt like that wasn't enough. So 3 hours is a great middle ground, I feel like. Not too long, not too short. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and pick up Two Twisted Crowns again, just because I'm really liking the story so far, and I just got to part 2, so I'm very intrigued about that. So yeah. So it is time for an update. I have about 1 hour and 39 minutes left in my reading time for today. So I have been reading Two Twisted Crowns this entire time. I did take a short break to take a shower real quick, but I'm about 52% through the book now, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm glad I decided to pick this book up and really just hunker down and read it. I don't know if I like it more than the first one because that was a 5-star for me, but it's definitely up there. I also feel like since I'm taking a lot of breaks, that also affects my experience while reading it, especially with fantasy books. I feel like when you read fantasy books, it's best to read it consistently because you're enraptured in the story. You're like hooked, I guess. When you take a lot of breaks, I feel like it takes you out of the story and it's harder to get back into it. So it's about 7:30, so I think I'm gonna go make dinner, but I'm gonna listen to my audiobook, None of This Is True, so I can still work on my reading time, I guess. Yeah, that's really it. I will talk to you guys later. So I have about 23 minutes left in my reading time for today. A big portion of that time was just listening to my audiobook of None of This Is True. It's really nice to just like turn on an audiobook and not really have to worry about using your brain power, I guess, to read words on a page, which definitely helps with reading late at night because my brain is tired. So it's nice to just like turn on the audiobook and listen to it. I'm definitely enjoying it. The whole premise of the audiobook is really interesting. However, I do think I'm going to take a break from it and read on my Kindle. I'm going to read The Long Game by Elena Armez for the remaining time. Hopefully I don't fall asleep because I am pretty tired. But yeah, that's it for tonight, I think. So it is the next morning. I woke up and I immediately turned on the camera because I don't have class today. So I wanted to get a head start on my reading time. So I have my random number generator up. The maximum amount of hours that I could potentially read today is 12. So let's go ahead and spin and get a move on. Okay, 7 hours. So I ended up spending 7 hours. I honestly don't think that's a bad amount. I was really worried I was gonna get 12, but it's like 8:30. I can definitely do 7 hours today. So yesterday my goal was 3 hours, which I ended up reaching, but towards the end of the night, it was kind of hard to stay awake and read for that remaining like 23 minutes. I ended up reading like, I wanna say like 10 to 15 pages of my Kindle book, The Long Game. I honestly don't know how I feel about that book. I'm about 40% through and I really have no strong feelings. It's just kind of mid. I enjoy it while I read it, but I'm not really invested, I feel like. But I'm probably gonna listen to some of my audiobook, maybe hopefully finish Two Twisted Crowns today because I feel like we can accomplish a lot in 7 hours. So it is a lot later, like it's 6 p.m. right now, and I still have about 4.5 hours left in my reading time. I was extremely optimistic that I would make my reading goal today. There was no doubt in my mind that I would struggle reading 7 hours, especially because I had zero plans today. Nothing going on except reading. But the universe just likes to play tricks on me or something, because around like 1 to 2 p.m. I took the longest nap known to man. However, I plan on just buckling down for the rest of the day and reading my book. I'm about 95% through Two Twisted Crowns, so I'll probably finish this book today, and then hopefully I'll make a big dent in the long game. So yeah. So I just finished Two Twisted Crowns, and tell me why this book literally made me bawl like a baby. This is the sequel to One Dark Window. One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns is part of the Shepherd King duology, so there's only 2 books. And One Dark Window was a 5-star read for me, which was so rare of me to rate the first book in a series 5 stars. I feel like for me personally, a series should go uphill. Like the farther you get into a series, the better the books should become. But the first book just like blew me away. I just loved it so much. It was so gripping and interesting, and I was just hooked from the very start. Even though it was only 2 books, I was still connected to the characters like I would have been if it was like a 5-book series. I think for me, this book was a 4 out of 5. I don't think I liked it as much as the first one, just because there was some things that I loved in the first book that we didn't really get a lot of in this book, but we did get a new subplot of romance between a different couple, which I really enjoyed. However, I did wish we got some POVs of characters that we didn't get. But overall, I still really loved this book. I think it wrapped up the story really nicely. Obviously, I enjoyed it because I literally cried for the characters. So I have about 3.5 hours left in my reading challenge for today. So I think I'm really just gonna be listening to my audiobook and maybe reading some of the long game. I don't think I'm gonna start a new physical book yet, but we'll see. So I failed miserably. I did not complete my hourly goal yesterday. I have about 3 hours and 21 minutes left. So this might be controversial, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and finish the 3 hours, and that's gonna count towards my time today, just because I do have a lot on my plate today. I have a lot of work to do, homework, and just like booktube related. Yesterday I finished Two Twisted Crowns, so really I want to work on my audiobook and possibly reading the long game on my Kindle. I'm about 40% through this book, so honestly I would love to finish it today. So yeah. So I'm just currently listening to None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell, and I have such a love-hate relationship with the main character, Josie, or I guess she's one of the main characters. At some points, I honestly feel bad for Miss Girl because some things in her life just aren't the best, but then she does the craziest things, and I'm like, girl, no wonder your life ended up this way. Like, sorry. So I honestly have made quite a bit of progress today on my reading time. I have about 2 hours left. I've mainly just been listening to my audiobook and I'm really enjoying it, but it's gotten to the point where my anxiety is getting really bad because of it. So with that in consideration, I think I'm just gonna read the long game for the remaining amount of time I have for today. I am really enjoying this book. However, tell me why they're flirting with each other while talking about ferrets mating. Not a fan. Not a fan of that. That can stay in the drafts. So I just met my reading goal for today. I didn't finish reading The Long Game like how I wanted, but I'm very, very close, like basically 100 pages left. So I think I'm just gonna trudge on and finish the book tonight because I need some sort of gratification for finishing another book this week. I don't know. Because I'm reading over my allotted time, I think I'm going to keep track of it using my stopwatch, and then whatever time I read tonight, I'll just subtract towards my reading time tomorrow, if that makes sense. Which honestly will help me in the long run because I think tomorrow I'm going to do something crazy and I'm going to have the wheel have 12 hours max. So, yeah. Let me tell you right now, this book, The Long Game, is testing me. I'm at my wit's end right now. I love my man, Coach Cam, okay? He is a king through and through. I love that man. The fact that he just unapologetically loves Adeline for who she is and does not want to change her and is like, you can be mad, we can be mad together, let's just go be mad, like you can take it out on me, I don't care. And Adeline still chooses to walk away from that treasure trove of a man. I am all for supporting women's wrongs, but I draw the line at this. I'm sorry, I can't. I just can't. I just finished reading The Long Game, and I swear to God, that book felt so much longer than it should have. It was under 400 pages, and it honestly felt like a 600-page book. I'm not kidding. I read an extra hour and 47 minutes today. That time is gonna count towards tomorrow, but I am so tired. I already did my night routine. I am ready to go to bed. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. So it is the next day. I ended up finishing The Long Game last night, as you saw, but I thought this morning I would do a little review for you guys. So The Long Game had a lot of tropes that I just love. Forced proximity, small town, enemies to lovers. It was a sports romance. Just everything I love in a book, and it just didn't really stand out to me despite all of those tropes. I didn't hate it, but I also didn't love it. I ended up rating it a 2.75, mainly because the third act breakup just made me so mad. The main male character in this book just handled the whole thing the right way, and it was the girl who just completely messed everything up, which made me really upset because I thought we were really making progress with her character development, and then this big catastrophic thing between them happened, this like huge argument, and then 2 seconds later it's resolved. Like, I don't love the third act breakup trope, but I at least respect it, okay? I understand why authors add one in, but if you're going to do that, then at least make sure it has some substance to the story. Literally like 2 pages later, they were back together and happy as ever. I also thought the book was a little bit boring at times, to be fair. Like, that's kind of why I think it was mid. Let me put it this way. If I hadn't read it for free on Kindle Unlimited, I would not advise someone to go out and buy this book, I guess, which is why it's a 2.75. So moving on, I have my laptop right here, and we're going to go ahead and spin for today's reading time. So today is the last day of this challenge just because I'm about to start school tomorrow, and I just would like to get this challenge done and over with before the new week. The maximum amount of hours that I could potentially read for today is 12. So let's go ahead and spin. Okay, so I ended up spinning 3 hours. Should I respin? I think I might respin. I got 3 hours again. Okay, so the universe really just wants me to read for 3 hours, so I guess that's what we're gonna do. So last night, I actually read over my allotted reading time. I ended up reading an hour and 47 minutes over my time. So I think I'm just gonna subtract it from today's reading time. So it's just gonna count towards that. I just did the math, and today I have to read an hour and 12 minutes and 34 seconds. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this into my timer, and that's how long we're gonna read today. So I thought I would pop in real quick and update you guys with how it's going. So I have about 30 minutes left in the challenge for today. I'm about 60 pages into Nanny for the Neighbors by Lily Gold, and I'm really liking it so far. I'm not the biggest fan of like the pregnancy trope, but I guess this isn't technically the pregnancy trope because the child's already born. But essentially, this baby is just dropped off at this apartment of these three guys, and they don't know how to take care of it. So they ask their downstairs neighbor, Bethany, to help them because she used to be a nanny. And if you've ever watched that ABC Family show, Baby Daddy, you would definitely like this book because it's giving those vibes. It's giving those vibes, okay? And I'm eating it up, okay? It's so cute. I just finished my reading time for today, so I have successfully completed this challenge. I ended up getting to about 25% through Nanny for the Neighbors by Lily Gold, and I will be binging the rest of the book today because I am obsessed. I honestly really enjoyed doing this challenge. It really helped me set aside time to read, and we finished 2 books this week. Like, that is crazy. So I think that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more bookish videos, make sure to subscribe. I also have a Bookstagram if you want to go follow me on there. I post daily. I post reels and book reviews and monthly wrap-ups. It is always linked in my description if you want to go check it out. And yeah, I think that's it. I will see you next time. Goodbye.